Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Empower You podcast. I am your host, Michael Abney. Just here today to shine a little light on living life a little bit more consciously, and how we do that is we share amazing stories of others on their own path to enlightenment and consciousness and wherever the hell we're going as a human race. We're all here to help each other, and I found it fascinating to get to know other people's stories. It helps us all see the common thread in between all of what we're doing here and the transition and the enormous energy that's happening on the planet right now. Just providing a new conversation that hopefully makes a little bit of sense. And today's guest, Samantha Kozuch, I said it, yay, is joining us today from she's founder of the Maniscripting Journal, which I know you're going to share a little bit about that journey.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have a conversation today about where we've been and what's going on and what we see as next and how we can be of service at the end of the day. So welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of my podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Again, for people that watch the podcast right before this one, there's today just had a little bit of a glitch because both my guests, when I'm recording today, I had the gift now because I'm a planner and I like to plan things and, be prepared. It's my motto in life. But sometimes the universe goes, not today. Let's just kind of trust the process. And I just had and we were just talking about that. It was I'm so excited to dive in and get your story and where you're at and just have an amazing conversation today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
My pleasure. Yes. Let's do it. So tell me a little bit about your, where are you calling from? First of all, where are you at in the world?
I'm actually in Austin, Texas. I just moved here 3 months ago from Los Angeles and it feels good. LA was amazing. Lived there for 9 years of my life, but the energy in Austin, I don't know if you've ever been here. It is just... I
haven't, but I got some friends that want to come down and visit. I used to live in LA and I had to leave because I couldn't handle the vibe of it anymore. And yeah. Mm-hmm. It's I enjoyed it. It was my dream, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's my dreams got to refresh that without the damn traffic.
Yes, exactly. I feel like LA activates parts of us and then it's okay. You're complete. Time to move on. Mm-hmm. And it's a whole new energy here in Austin. Very grounded, very incredible. So I'm very excited to be here now.
What brought you there, though? What brought you there?
So actually, it was it wasn't a planned move. We knew we wanted to me and my fiance wanted to get out of Los Angeles just because, just like you said, the vibe and everything. And for about 3 years since the 2020 madness kind of hit. We were looking and searching of where to live. Where we lived on the beach, so we were wanting to move to Florida. But every time we went there to go look at homes, look at places to live, it was just not hitting right. When you're supposed to have that feeling of this is it, this is so good. It was never landing, and it was really frustrating. So for a couple years, we were in this cycle of okay, we just haven't found the place. And then just one day, I took all the stats that we wanted in a home, zoomed out the map on Zillow, and the house that we are in today popped up. And what's funny is we would not live at the beach. In fact, we were terrified to move somewhere not by the ocean just because we love such beach people. And we flew out here once. We had only been here one time before. We flew out here once, saw the house, and we were all this is it. And that's ever since we moved here. So it's been 3 months now. It has been the best decision of our lives. So many things have opened up for us. The expansion in not only our lives, but in our businesses has just been unreal. So it's just so interesting that there was a reason the universe did not allow us to find that home in Florida, because this is exactly where we're meant to be. And it's I can't even describe it. It's incredible.
So changed to how you feel on the inside, right? When you moved there, your environment affected your, and then that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, share with me a little bit what you're here today. Share with us. I want to know how this is all the thing that's blowing up. Share with us what that is, because I just got a sense of it's really cool.
So the Maniscripting Journal is a company that I started. Actually, I have it right here. It's called the Maniscripting Journal. It's an incredible
Beautiful.
life design manifestation journal for women. And I kind of like manifestation is the hook to get women in, right? Because manifestation is such a hot topic right now. But what's crazy is, and it's not crazy, but it is divinely downloaded to me during 2020 when all the world was in absolute uncertainty, craziness, so much anger, sadness, confusion. And at that time, I had a different career. I was an online business coach. So I was an influencer in the fitness space. I was a video production company. So I've done a lot of things online. And when 2020, when COVID hit, basically my community and the clients I was working with, everyone panicked. People were losing jobs. They were upset. We all were. We had no idea what was happening. And I just started sharing my morning routine, which was on meditating, journaling certain things that I wanted, or just journaling in general, emotions, desires, anything that was coming up and through. And I was just kind of sharing like with my community, just to kind of help them stay focused on their business, to not give up, to not give in, because we all kind of know what was going on with 2020. Like once it finally like settled in, we're like, okay, this is the game they're playing with us, right? Yeah. So just shared it. And the feedback I got from that was incredible. And that's when I got the download to be like, this needs to be a book. This needs to be a journal. This needs to be a physical product that lands in people's hands. And let me tell you, at the time when I got that download and that message to do this, I was freaking pissed. I was so mad because my business was growing. I had, so many clients. I had wait lists of people to work with me. Everything was good. And when I got that hit, I was all like, fuck. I was like, I need to start over. And like,
girl, the
really?
same thing happened to me. Like the same thing. Like I was a real estate broker, 16 clients in 3 hours, went to 2 that I barely closed. Like, and then it's like, what the hell? Like, are you kidding me? But I got the download for the program that I deliver now in 15 minutes in this, like, are you kidding me? I can't do this right now. Like, it was just this like disruption of the scale. Yes. Okay. I totally feel you.
100%.
Yes.
100%. And so I've done everything basically online my entire life. And even just going back from when I graduated from college, which we can get into that, when I really went against the grain of what society tells you to do. And I did the total opposite, not knowing what I was going to do. But in this situation, I'm now like, it's not just starting another online program. This is a physical product. This is manufacturing. This is design. This is all those things where I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. I don't know how to ship things. I don't know how to import things. Like it was just like so much was against me from that download, right? Like so much was against me. And this is the one thing that I just preach to everyone is like, you don't need to know the whole plan. You don't need to know everything. Just take that next step. So
messy.
I got excited
Start messy.
Start messy. And that's what I did. And what's wild now is this journal, like we're going into our 3rd year now, right? And this journal is in the hands of thousands of women's lives. I've grown this huge community. It feels like almost overnight. And it's literally changing lives because of the content in it. The hook is manifestation, but it is all about literally getting clear on what it is that you want for your life, what's no longer serving you, what you want to call in, what you want to quote unquote manifest, right? Like what you're like, just, it's crazy to think about with where we are now today in 2023 and creating a product that is literally helping women. Like, honestly, it's like waking them up, right? Like waking them up to like, what they're supposed to be doing, like what their purpose is and all of that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
There's nothing better like in life than towards what it is your life is actually calling you to be. Like, there's no greater joy. There's no greater juice. It's not about money. Right? It's not about, it's this pull. Like you almost can't even name it, but like, it's this string that like pulled you, and like you're for women, and like I like use manifestation for like to help people blow up their limiting beliefs because they all come up whenever you start wanting something. So I just leverage it. But like for me, it's like helping aspiring thought leaders and like people that have these game-changing ideas for the planet. Like, I want to help clear them so they can go do that, and then we're gonna win. You know, like, I love it.
Yes, it's exactly because, you know, we are just from, you know, childhood. We're just like programmed to be this way and to go to school and go to college, do this, do that. We don't have a minute to think about what we want to do because we're constantly told what to do. So what's been really cool about this journal is it's not only just like it's such a beautiful, fun journal to have, but it's a tool. Color. Yeah, and we have lots of different colors. This is like a beautiful prism color, but it's just such a great way to help people tap into their fullest potential. And it's really incredible over the last 3 years with just like all the women and all the transformations that they've had and all the things that they've been able to do or change about their lives. And it's so cool. And it's even crazier to just think about, like, wow, I always just think about it, especially now. What if I didn't listen to that download? What if I ignored that download? Yeah.
I mean, I like to think that no matter what, it would have, like, you know, took this and like pulled us, but like, what if, you know, actually, seriously, what if everything in my life didn't happen exactly the way that it happened? Like, even the really crappy parts that I thought were, like, if they didn't do that, if I didn't fail a million times, like, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the confidence. Like, somehow the universe, if you just keep standing, puts it all together, and you do sort of like fall into it. But when you do, like, all you really want to do is like be with other people or helping other people get that same space. Like, for me, it's about survival. It's like the ending of survival. Like, we don't have to survive life anymore. It's possible to thrive in it. We just got to talk about it differently, right?
Yes. Talk about it. And just like you mentioned before,
normalize it. Yeah.
Being open to it, surrender to it too. Like, most of us are just so controlled, and it's not even us trying to control. It's like the societal pressure control, right? Of what you're supposed to do and not do and all of that. And it's just wild ride.
I know. I love every minute of it, but I'm excited. Like, so what is, like, you know, everything just keeps growing and evolving. What do you feel is coming? You know, we're all leveling up. There's no, like, you have that sense, right? So it's not like you, I used to think, okay, I'm going to get here. I'm going to hang out here and we're going to do that. It just doesn't work that. It's like an escalator instead of steps now. And if you're not with that, every time that thing clicks, you're going to be hitting your head against the brick wall. So I had to learn that the hard way. But like, how are you managing your expansion?
My expansion is honestly allowing myself more space in my day-to-day. I came from a very masculine, like entrepreneur, like boss bitch energy, to be honest. Like, very like work all the time, work really hard, all of this, all of that, like just constantly, right? Like, for me, and I think because that's how I was programmed growing up, like, get straight A's, be the best athlete, you know, be a good kid, all of that, like that. I carried that for a very long time until I had to like heal it and reprogram myself that not equal not only just success, but happiness either. So for me, what's funny is my word at the beginning of this year, I always pick a word for the year. And I ran randomly, right? Randomly, my word was expansion. And what's wild is moving here, like, we came from living on the beach in like a 2-bedroom, small little apartment. Now we live in this huge house. Like, I see, like, looking out my window right now, it's all valley. We're out in the hills. We're out in the country. I have so much space. I've done so much in my business that a lot of it, like, before I was like packing and shipping orders and, you know, doing customer service and doing this and the other. I've now hired people in to take care of those things because I don't need to do that. Like, I love to do it. I love to feel like I'm part of every part of my customer experience. But at the same time, it's like, That's not what I need to do. I need that space and expansion for me to continue growing and evolving and healing. So then I can then take that and teach it into my community and show others what's possible and all of that. So I feel like with this whole expansion happening, right? It's not just, you don't just do it alone. The whole point is like to do it together, and because we are like all connected, right? Divinely
Like
connected.
community part is so crucial right now.
Yeah.
That's actually where I like started to get really, I love allow myself to feel. So like sometimes I feel frustrated, sometimes I feel like, for the past 6 months or so, I've loved creating content. I totally relate. I'm new to the game of it. I've only been doing it since the pandemic stuff. I trained myself to edit. I just trained myself on everything while I was sitting there, didn't know what to do. And it like started something, but it was this game, like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this.
Yes.
And like the more you get into it, you realize, oh my God, like I'm fighting with a thing that's like never going to really show my stuff until I like create something controversial or hate or something, because that's the only thing it evolves. Like, and I'm not doing that. But like at the same time, I just like, you bust your ass to get 5,000 people to follow you, and then they show your content that you work your ass off on to like 5 people. And like, after a while, it's like I had to really get clear. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not like right after the 4th, I'm going to put a thing on my profile that says, she don't live here no more. Like, I'm not staying here no more. So it's like YouTube is the place that I love, because it's actually not there. People actually communicate with me. I have a YouTube channel there. So it's like, that's where this podcast will live. And so I love freedom over it's to match my outside. There was a time where I needed that training and the feedback, and I actually learned how to write like during that process, or tell a story, or the things that it's so important to get our messages out that a lot of people like me don't have, because I used to live in that I used to live in space most of the time because it was just too dense down here. So a lot of my life I lived that woo-woo stuff. Like that was my whole life. But I'm like, I realized you also have to be part of the earth. You have to be grounded to manifest something. You can't manifest something if you're just have your head in the cloud and your head in your ass. Is really what it is. But you got to like, it's both. It's both.
Yeah. Exactly. Like we have to be like I love to just call it Earth School. Like we're here to learn, to grow, to evolve, and just like the people that knock on and the people that knock on manifestation like it's not real, it's some like magic spiritual woo-woo stuff. It's like, no, it's not. Like manifestation is literally
everything.
Everything, right?
Like seriously, when somebody says that to me, I'm like, who the hell else is here that I don't know about that's creating all of this? Like, you tell me, who is it?
Right.
And some people say, they have their own thing of it, but whatever that is outside themselves. And I was like, go ahead with that. See how that works for you. It's not working. Like, look around. It's not working. What works is to become, like what you said, become clear about what it is that your life's calling you to be, and go do that damn thing. And scared,
taking
messy,
that action.
Whatever. Without it, you're stuck. And like, but that's where we can come into play is like the power of like, it's going to be messy. I would have never started my YouTube channel had I not like somebody told me that, and it made sense. And I'm like, that's your first video is going to be crappy. You're going to hate it. You're going to cringe. Go do it now and get it out of the way.
Go do it. Exactly. Right. It's just taking that action. And the more often we take action of things, the more often we will get that sign, whether it's universe, source, God, whatever it is, that high power that you believe in. Like, you won't get opportunities and you won't be able to make decisions or choices unless you take action so you can co-create with it.
Yes.
And that's how you figure it out.
People don't do that because they've given their power away to some bullshit story about how the universe works. And I'm like,
Yes.
One of the very first things my guides ever shared with me was the fundamental, like anywhere in life that we have a fundamental loss of power, that only comes from one thing. It's because we have a belief that's running that's no longer true for us. Like it used to work. Like I used to have that Like how I manifested prior to my awakening was somebody had to literally tell me I couldn't do it. As soon as they told me I couldn't do it,
Oh,
done.
it's like game
Not
on.
even thought. Gone, like done. And then I found myself creating scenarios unconsciously, sometimes violently, making people do that to me. Like, it became really awkward and weird at the end, like when that sort of pattern died. And then it was a completely other journey of like learning to trust the other part that actually does manifest. And that's the scariest place is like looking inside of ourselves, like it's just because we were so trained that it was like, no, but things are shifting and changing, and it's just like part of the deal. And it's part of this conversation to be talking about this. So it's because I don't care who you are or where you came from, this is, you vibrate with it. It is.
That's why it's so important for everyone, all of us, to take action and share and talk about these things. Because a lot of people, like even when I first started kind of talking about it on my old social media account, which had thousands and thousands I started a new one. Just because I wanted to, disconnect energy from that part of my life and just kind of like start fresh. But it was hard to talk about this stuff because, even just like 3-4 years ago, it was just so different online. Like now it's more like people are talking about it, and that's a good thing, because that's what I love about the journal too, is because anything that we show on like Instagram and stuff, it's all about manifestation, set your goals, whatever. That hooks the women in, right? They come in, and now all of a sudden I'm talking about these frequencies and all these self-development things and healing modalities and all of that. And now they're just like hooked. But if they led with that, that would scare a lot of people away. So it's been really interesting working with people of all different types of belief systems and all of that sort of stuff. And like just cracking them open, watching them transform and manifest.
It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing. It's in the last like about 6 months of my life that I really got clear about that I had to renegotiate my relationship towards results. If I was going to be sharing that with the world, that I needed to tighten my bucket at home. That, it's real easy when you get in that download creative sort of thing. Yeah. To just, where does that stop? Where is that creation modes meet starting messy, right? Yeah. Like, where is that? And I was taught all of these ways to get it, your message out and sell it. And like, because I'm so passionate about creating a business about what I love to do. Yeah. And just that journey and what it's taught me, all of these components, some work, but they taught me the guts of it, so that when I actually met the person that's helping me now, I literally knew beyond doubt that it was so clear that it was like, it's like that person was literally talking to me. Yes. That is like what I now give to the people that I work with, aspiring thought leaders and people that have game-changing ideas. Those are the folks that I just like, because it's me, I have a vision that for a world that works for everybody. I really do. I'm not giving it up. Yeah. Yeah. It's not utopia. Yeah. It's not all of the things that people say whenever that used to come up. I'm like, no, there's a way to create that. There's a way to create that. Yeah. And how I know is because we've created the opposite of it, and everything's a stick. And if we can create a shitty world, we can create one that works for everybody. We really can. It's the same stick. We just got to focus on the other end.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what next for you?
Next for me, well, I just feel like we are in it. We are in this next level of just true expansion. And right now, where I'm seeing this go is just growing this community even bigger, doing a lot more in-person events. I know that that's what truly people, getting in real life together. So that is definitely going to be it. We do host retreats right now for women twice a year, which has been great, but it's very small, which is good. But there are so many more women like would want to come to in-person events and be able to connect because, you know, over the last few years, like we were forcefully disconnected, and you know, there was a reason behind that from
there was
different side of things. And we need to get back in person, back to our humanness, and that's how we just truly just heal and be able to learn how to love and forgive and all of that stuff. It's just magic. So that's what's really
ourselves in other people's stories. You know, it's like one of the I think that's so powerful to like witness conversations or, you know, like something that just strikes something in you that gets you out of that loop that if you're not aware, you're inside of one, you know, the Truman Show. Like that was really, I don't know if you ever saw that movie or not, but like,
oh, absolutely.
It's a movie way back in the day, but that was like, oh my God, that's like life, right?
Yeah.
Ironically, I was filmed in Seaside, Florida. So it was like, I was dusted when that was filmed. Like, so I walked through that set whenever that was. But like watching that movie, it's like now seeing like, wow. See, there's people that were awake. There's people that's been awake this whole time. Like at the very beginning of my journey, I was completely fascinated with old text, like stuff that was written eons ago, you know, like, and there's one called the Master Key System that I was completely fascinated with. That was actually the basis for The Secret, one of the books for The Secret when that came out. Well, turns out that guy is from St. Louis, buried in he's in one of the cemeteries here. And he had a coaching business in 1904 that he had this 24 chapter there were little booklets. And a part of his program, he would mail you one, and you learned one lesson. When you got that one, he would mail you the next one, so you got all 20. And that was his Master Key System. But it was all about learning how to see things in your mind's eye as if they were real. And I remember one was like drawing a mental picture of a flowering, a flower growing up inside of a pot. And I still remember that to this day. Like the pot, the little seed, planting the seed, and then watching it in your mind grow up. And that became that his technique was the very beginnings of what I now call my morning practice. You know, where I make my bed, I shower off the yesterday and start fresh, and I sit for 15 to 18 minutes in my space and do whatever, you know, and that's how I go my day.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That is awesome. I definitely have to. Is that a book or is that something you watch? The 7 Keys.
It's called the Master Key System.
The Master Key System.
The Master Key System by Charles Haanel, Haanel. And you can just Google it. And there's a Master Key Society on YouTube you can listen to it there.
Listen to it. Oh, that's awesome.
There's not too many copies of it. There's not too many copies of it. I have an original copy with his writing in it. Yeah.
That is amazing. One of my new...
This is literally it. See it?
Oh my gosh.
And look.
Yes.
It's got his handwriting in it. Let's see what the lesson is for today. Let's see what the lesson is for today.
Let's read it.
Okay. Part 12. There is no purpose in life that cannot be accomplished through a scientific understanding of the creative power of thought. The power to think is common to all. Man is because he thinks. Man's power to think is infinite. Consequently, his creative power is also unlimited. We know, I'll just read this on the last paragraph. We know that thought is building for us the thing we think of and actually bring it nearer. Yet we find it difficult to banish fear, anxiety, and discouragement of all which are powerful thought forces, of which continually send things we desire further away. So it is often 1 step forward and 2 steps back. So it's explaining that when we go for something, the fear arises and pushes us away from us. But I know now that those fears are like, bullshit from the past. They're not really real.
Yeah.
So you can eliminate those, and that's my sort of it is my process that I use to help people clear the stuff that's in the blind spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
connected to it. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Huh?
What a perfect paragraph to go
Right?
along with exactly what we're talking about. So true.
See,
Our
that's how
thought
the universe
and
works.
everything. Yes. One of my
This was written in
favorite-
1904. 1904. It's like
Ah,
it's been here the whole time.
yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I'm sure you've read Outwitting the Devil. Have you read that one?
Outfitting the devil.
Gosh. Outwitting.
I love this. Outwitting.
Yeah. Outwitting. Yep. Outwitting the Devil.
I'll download it. I'm
by
getting ready to take a little trip to the country, so I'm going to listen to that.
Perfect. It's by Napoleon Hill, and I just recently read it, and
I love
cannot
Napoleon.
believe I haven't. Yeah, I cannot believe I haven't read it sooner. So this book was written, I think, in like 1920. It was like 80 years ago. But it was, when you read it, please let me know, because I get the chills thinking about it, because the fact that it was written so long ago, what it talks about is literally shit that's been happening in like the last couple years, even stuff with just like the different programming and how just so much is going on. It's mind blowing that it was written back then, just like the book you're talking of. And the author's wife did not let him publish the book. She's like, this is too controversial. You will literally put an end to our lives if you put this book out there. So she didn't let him publish it until they both died. And then the kids held it in the trust, and they didn't publish the book until they died. So this book was just published maybe like 20 years ago or something like that, finally. But it is
I'm
just
so excited because I'm literally driving for 2 hours, so I'm going to download this on Audible. Not a sponsor, but I have the app. So I'll download that, and then I will listen to that on the way down, because I love listening to books when I travel. So thank you so much for that. Mm-hmm. We should regroup and like talk about that after I listen to it, okay?
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, definitely.
So, I love this. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go for today? I can't believe we've already been talking.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. No, but gosh, my only message to everyone out there and that's listening is, oh my gosh, if you get that download, that message to go do something, like, please at least explore it, no matter how scary it is, no matter how many voices in your head are telling you, no, that's stupid. You can do that. You don't have the money for that. Who are you to think? Like, please, please, just go towards it, because my life completely changed for the better when I listened to the download, and different downloads throughout my life. But I wouldn't be sitting where I am today with a now multi-million-dollar company. I'm thriving. I'm happy. My work is easier than it's ever been before, because I'm doing something that is part of my purpose in this lifetime, and I'm fully aligned with it. So that is my one message that I want to just leave everybody with.
Because you listened to that download and you followed that trail. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know, it like you just glow. So yes, I totally see that. And that is what the effect of being in that is. I call it flow state, but
yes,
it's just like the space where you're connected and you're allowing yourself to be a part of the journey, but you all know that journey is dimensional, and you just keep expanding and allowing, accepting, and surrendering. So yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
I appreciate it. You guys listening at home or wherever you're listening to this on the podcast, or you're seeing it on YouTube, thank you so much for listening. I hope you got a ton of value. If you were listening, I know you did, because it was really powerful. Just learning to like follow your own intuition. If you have these big ideas, the world is literally waiting for them. So I don't care. Like, I'll say it a little bit differently. If it scares you, run that, because that is actually the doorway to leveling up your life. So with that, much love, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.